afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to this week. And gosh darn it, what a week we've had. Oh boy, we are hitting that halfway mark of the summer, and I thought it might be fun to sort of look back on the first half of the summer. What did we get in the market? Well, we'll do that. We're not supposed to have a monologue on Sunday, so I'm not putting the monologue up. This is going to be more. Let's do this a little more informally. So I just want to start by saying one of the oldest sayings when it comes to investing, when it comes to the world of finance, well, one of the oldest sayings is sell in May and go away. And there's a good reason for that. The idea is that, well, summer tends to be quieter, calmer, not a lot of volume. In fact, trading volumes fall as institutions, well, they take vacations. Traders take vacations. People slow down. You go out, enjoy the sun. Unless you're allergic to the sun, then you stay inside and enjoy the lack of sun. Something like that. But here's the thing. That tends to be a typical thing. Corporate earnings, they tend to slow a little bit after the initial reporting season, which is the first part of the year. We haven't been seeing that, though. I'll say that right now. Typically, there's not supposed to be a lot of catalysts that are driving the market. Well, this summer just did not get that memo. It didn't. Instead of drifting sideways, markets have been hit by wave after wave of volatility, of uncertainty. Trade tensions between Canada and the U.S. There's a big driver for you. Tariffs. We thought tariffs were over. Well, not over, but we thought they were background noise. Now they're not. They're front and center again. And it almost seems to change daily. The conflict in the Middle East, pushing oil sharply higher and then easing. It's like up and down, up and down. Wildfire disruptions in Canada. Well, that part we did kind of expect. That's becoming the new normal. Constant debate over inflation. What's the Bank of Canada going to do? What's the U.S. Fed going to do? All of that has been boiling together. Also, this time we can also throw in a little bit of souring on AI in there. Throw that in the mix too. Put it in a big cauldron. Mix it all up. And we got the first half of the summer. That's what we got. So on paper, that is absolutely a recipe for a rough summer, or a potluck. I'm not sure which. But despite all of that volatility, I will say this, and this is kind of interesting. Even with that volatility, most of the indexes, most of them are pretty high up there. We're not that far off from all-time highs. That's kind of interesting. So the market isn't ignoring the bad news. It's just absorbing it remarkably well. Markets don't normally absorb news like this so easily, and I think it's just that we're getting so used to uncertainty being the norm. So why, though? Let's ask the question. I mean, yeah, we're getting used to it, but why has the market been so resilient? Well, first of all, corporate earnings, despite the volatility, they've all been coming in pretty strong. Even sometimes they're coming in strong and they're still falling, but we have been getting stronger data than expected. Companies, they've actually been demonstrating that they're pretty good at adaptation when it comes to a difficult environment. I think that's a good thing. Now, secondly, investors, well, we've gotten used to it. We're used to Donald Trump pulling this rug, pulling that rug, knocking over this thing, knocking over that thing, letting a bull loose in a china shop. We're used to this. It's becoming second nature. And I mean, at first it may have been very dramatic and we reacted like so, and the markets really reacted so, but unless events begin absolutely affecting economic growth or corporate profits, markets are just stabilizing. They're stabilizing quickly. which is really, really interesting. And then thirdly, there's still demand out there for equities. There's like a lot of demand. And that, well, if there's a demand, that certainly helps. We're talking things like pension funds, ETFs. This is one thing you have to keep in mind. As more and more ETFs get added to the market, they've got to buy stocks. They've got to build their portfolios. So that is also feeding the market. And then the ETFs that are holding those parts of the markets, they're feeling the benefit. So it is kind of an interesting thing. And well, even the pullbacks are attracting buyers. Buy the dip is becoming more of a religion than a suggestion lately. And that, I think, is certainly helping things. So where does that leave us, though? Because we're halfway there. What's the second half of the summer going to look like? I will say historically, August tends to be quiet. Although I got to say, the last few years, we've seen some buying starting up in August. So we have seen investors starting to wake up sooner in the year than normal. But if we just go by history, historically, August tends to remain fairly quiet. And then September has a bit of a reputation on its own too. And that is the last part of summer, because summer goes until the 21st. September has historically been the weakest month of the year for North American equities. Now, that reputation is probably overblown. Why? Because a lot of big things, big market drivers to the downside have happened in September. Housing market crash. Guess when that was? September. 9/11. Guess when that was? September. So there have been more than average catalysts that have popped up in September that have certainly pulled down September reputation a little bit. Even if you remove those, it still does come in pretty much in last place, but not by as much as we sort of think about it. So, and that's, I will say right now, even with that reputation, it does not mean that every September is going to be negative. And statistically, it's just produced more weakness than any other month. So that's what we're looking at. We're talking about stats. So yeah, I believe we were in the green last September. I'll have to double check on that, but I do believe we were. Now, between now and Labor Day, so this is our first little big chunk. So we will, of course, be investing on those corporate earnings. We're going to see if they continue to be strong. We're going to continue watching inflation data. What are the banks going to be doing in the second half of the year? Are we looking at rate cuts? Are we looking at rate hikes? Is everything just going to stay flat? That's, central bank expectations. That's what I'm talking about. We'll also be looking to see if there's any kind of a development in the trade negotiations. Can things get worse? I don't know. Every time I think they can't, Donald Trump finds a way. We will also, of course, be paying attention to the geopolitics. Do we see signs of peace in the Gulf? In the Strait? What can I say? So if any one of these areas does deteriorate unexpectedly, we could actually see, because of and here's the thing that kind of is interesting, is because we have reduced trading volume, it means it means the markets can move more volatility. There can be a lot more volatility. So if we see any of those things change, we could get some pretty interesting spikes. So I'll say this. I wouldn't be surprised if the second half of the summer I actually believe it'll be calmer than the first. Many of the biggest unknowns that basically people were worried about in June, we kind of understand them a little bit better. I think we have a better idea of the environment that we're in. It really doesn't mean that risk disappears. It never does. That's one thing if there's one lesson you want to take away as an investor, risk never goes away. It's always there. I will just say this. I think markets will become less volatile once uncertainty turns into information. Once we understand uncertainty, it makes it, well, it kind of makes it less uncertain. So instead of asking, I don't know, whether things are going to go crazy, whether it's going to be scary, um, I think the better question is that, could the second half of the summer, could the headlines that we're seeing, could they actually could they actually be changing some of the long-term outlooks of some of the businesses associated with the market, associated with us making money? So far this summer, the answer has largely been no, but but that is one of the bigger reasons the market has managed to climb despite feeling like it was constantly under pressure. Cue the Queen song. Well, I would if it weren't for copyright. So, yes, it's going to be a market that's strained. It's going to be, there will be some diamond handing probably before this is all said and done. But I think we're all going to be okay. And I think the second half of the summer, like I said, I think it'll be calmer. What do you guys think? That's what I want to know. Do you guys think I got it right? Or do you guys think, holy cow, you're so far off? Feel free. Look, and guys, just so you guys know, if you're new here, this is especially true. You're allowed to disagree with me, and you're allowed to express whatever it is you want. The only rules we have in chat be respectful, and and try to keep the politics down. I know, and I'm bad at it too. I'm bad at it, and sometimes we get a little bit too political. Uh, it's Sunday. Let's try to have a good day. Let's have a fun day. Um, I think the Bengals said Sunday is my fun day. Hmm? Yeah, maybe they were onto something. Although technically it would be Prince who was onto something because Prince wrote Manic Monday, in case you didn't know. All right, let's let's hit up the chat. We're starting off right away with Prairie is in here with a good afternoon community. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Sunday. Oh, and guys, I don't know if the Nightbot has popped up yet or not. Actually, I don't even know if the Nightbot is on. I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on because it doesn't seem to be popping up. But the Financial Express is actually active. So if you guys want a show tomorrow, um, by the end of today's stream, if we get 4 gifted subs or 4 supers or a combination, we will add one. Now, if we fail, this is one of the high pressure ones. If we fail, there wouldn't be a show until Wednesday. Other than the channel members would still have their Tuesday night, of course. But yeah, very, very cool. All right. Jonathan says, am I late for another delicious taco? You're never late for tacos. Now here, let me ask you guys this question. I'm curious. I prefer a soft taco. I don't like my taco to be crunchy. Am I alone in this? Do you guys prefer, like almost a burrito, I guess, over a taco? The hard shells. I'm kind of curious. There's got to be some people out there that like it the way I do. Bismarcky says, happy Sunday to all. Hey, Bismarcky, how are you? Lance, good afternoon, everyone. Should be an interesting week ahead. Yes. So one of the big drivers this week as well is we do have the Federal Reserve on Wednesday. They're going to announce their rate decision, and I think it's going to be a pause. I think they're going to continue the pause, but and this is kind of what I said the other day. I don't think it's going to be an anonymous. I think that there's going to be some people that want to cut the rate, or heck, maybe there might even be a couple that want to hike it. It's going to be interesting to see, but we're going to talk a little bit more as we move closer to it. Lisa is in the house with a hello. Why, hello, Lisa. How are you? A says, hi, Candace. Well, hi, A. I, I, I gotta say, it's good to see all of you here today. I'm just gonna say that. I'm saying that, let's see. What industries will go down due to Trump financials? Metals, REITs? You know what? Like I said, we've been worried. We're always worried. Trump kicks us. and everybody's like, okay, where are we going to break? But you know what? We're Canadians. We don't break. We don't. We've been resilient. I think we're going to continue to be resilient. Will there be pain? Yeah. Will there be layoffs? Yeah. But I think overall we will continue to keep it real. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine overall. Let's see. Will SpaceX fall asleep? The employees are slowly allowed to sell shares. So this will be the interesting thing. So as the employees, and I don't know the exact date. I should find out. I need to find out. If one of you guys knows the date, please throw it in the chat. But yeah, once we hit a certain date, then you're going to have a lot of people who are allowed to sell. But here's the thing. Depending on how much you got in at, are you going to take that loss? Like some of them will probably hold on. Like I think SpaceX still has a lot of potential. And if if their Starship can actually put some, start putting, cargo up into orbit, I think that'll be a game changer. I think they'll make back all of that. I think they'll make it all back at that point. But that's the next big thing that we need to see for SpaceX, and that could be a very positive catalyst for them. But they have to do it. Now I know they had a launch the other day. Now I did not. I think it was successful. I don't know exactly the full details of that mission, but it didn't blow up. So I'm positive on that sense. Prairie, the first half of the summer had a positive impact on my portfolio. I'm hoping the second half is just as positive. Awesome. I like that. Ian says, I think SpaceX will have some big news come out around the same time the shares get unlocked to soften the blow. That would be a good strategy for SpaceX. If you're sitting on something good, some good information, that would be the time to release it. Or unless you're also, or here's the other thing. You could always release the news internally and sort of say, well, it's kind of a way for people who are maybe thinking of selling, who work for SpaceX, to say, oh my God, when this news breaks, that price is going up. So, maybe that might be another way. I mean, I don't think that would qualify as inside buying or selling. It's kind of like inside holding. But, we'll see what happens. I can't wait. TT3, I made hummus. Nice. I like hummus. So nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I invest only in Canada now, though I might still trade American stocks or options or American listed Canadian companies occasionally. Okay, fair enough. And yeah, I mean, Canada has a strong market. We got a lot of great companies. And I think you can have a pretty balanced portfolio investing only in Canada if you choose. But at the same time, sometimes it's tough to look at the American market and say, oh boy, that's the biggest economy in the world. I'd like a piece of that. So, you have to weigh it. But I think, at least in the last while, now, you have to look at last year. So 2025, Canada kicked the United States' butt. But you know what? You got to put it into perspective. What pumped in Canada last year? Well, gold and materials. So, Canada got a huge, huge boost. Now, the U.S., yeah, sure, they got a boost from materials, but they're nowhere as concentrated into materials as Canada is. Like, it's not even close. So, that's something to keep in mind. And Mary is in the house. Hey, Mary. Guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So, if you've not hit that like button yet. Now, guys, we've hit 50 likes a couple of times during the week. We've hit 50 likes. This is the weekend show. It's longer, more people flow through, and technically, it's technically bigger. So, I think we can do 60 today. So I think we can do 60. I don't even know how many we have. I can tell you right now, there's 47 people in here, but I'm going to refresh it on the test box. Let's get an initial look count. 17. 17. Holy banana bread. That's low. Let's get it a little higher, and holy banana bread. Guys, So Wahipple in the week broke a record. He gifted 10 Mountain Finance memberships. It's a record I thought would hold for a while. Until today. Until today, Samantha has just gifted 20 Mountain Finance memberships. So Financial Express done. We have a show tomorrow. Huge thank you to Samantha. Oh my God, that's a lot. I certainly appreciate. I hope you did that. I hope that wasn't by mistake, like you meant to click on 10 and you accidentally clicked 20. But I certainly appreciate that. Oh my God. A lot of people. I'm not going to read 20 names. But if you are one of the 20, congratulations. You are now, you're now in the, well, in the GOAT squad. You're in the GOAT squad for a bit. And quite honestly, this is fantastic. Tuesday night, we have our members only stream. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys will all get to attend. All right, now, here's the fun part. So I don't have a particular one for 20, but we have our 5 one. I will play it. All right, now, I know a little bit about Samantha. I know she loves cats. Meow. There. I don't know if that one actually has sounds, but I added a meow just in case it didn't. There we go. Thank you very much, Samantha. That is, that's insane. But I do like it. I like it. Actually, it's funny. I was watching a stream a while back, and apparently on Twitch, they have an option where every single like you can decide to gift to every single person watching who's not a member. And I was just like, whoa, that's a lot. But yeah, this is pretty cool. All right, let's get back to Lance, who says emerging markets will do really well in the next few years too. A weaker US dollar, whenever it comes, will affect them too. I do like emerging markets. It's one of the reasons, like, I've been a big fan of like funds like XEQT, VEQT, ZEQT, so the all equity. And of course, if you want an income version of it, there's EQCL. So there are a lot of really, there's a lot of really good ETFs that give you that full exposure. And I think, yeah, I think you're right. I think emerging markets are going to be very, very strong. All right, and there we go. I just saw the Financial Express. I'm trying to turn it off. Come on, turn off Financial Express. All right, there we go. I've turned it off. Perfect. All right. Lance says XEC will give you the exposure to emerging markets. Even Trump had invested in emerging markets when he revealed some recent investments. Yeah, absolutely. TT3, is there a Canadian authentication app? I don't know what you're asking. So an authentication app, for what? let me ask you this, for what? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure 100% what you're asking, TT3. Prairie, I would prefer a plate of nachos over a taco any day. Oh, nachos are good. Absolutely. Paul is in the house with a good afternoon. All right. Let's see here. Contu Creek says, hi, Candace. I'm new to all this and wondering if my ETF GIC approach is safer for me at 62 than TD Wealth pushing hard for my money to manage. Okay, great question. So, all right. So your ETF that you're talking about is VDY. Okay, so VDY, it's a solid. It's a very solid. Actually, here, let me pull it up. I'm going to push me over here. I love Vanguard. VDY is actually, it's a very, very good ETF. Whoops, what the heck happened there? Okay. Oh, I typed it in up top, didn't I? VDY, here we go. All right, so here we go. So your Vanguard FTSE, Canadian High Dividend Yield Index ETF. So let's take a look at this. So this is what it's done. This is just the last year. Now, mind you, Just because it did really well last year, it doesn't mean it's going to do really well this year. It's more of a, it gives you an idea of the typical trend. But I got to say, this one, XIC, I think I would put in the same boat. They both do really, really well. And you'll notice here, this one's gone from $53 to $78 in the course of a year. Now, mind you, Canada had a strong year. But here's the interesting thing. If you'll notice, let's just see here, from about February. So right here, from right about here, there's that little bump. So you notice it really didn't get impacted too much by the whole war thing. And it's been doing absolutely fine since then. Now, part of the reason for that is I bet you, if you look at this, if you were to compare this first part of the year, so the first part of the last year, so basically the 2025 part, you're going to see that the TSX beat this one. You will see the TSX beat almost everything. And the reason for that is, of course, that materials pump. That materials pump makes it hard to beat. So it doesn't invalidate something like VDY. Because when you look at this year, if you were to compare this growth right here, if you were to compare that to the TSX, it's beating the TSX easily, hands down. And that's because materials pulling the TSX down, and the exposure of materials within VDY, I would bet, and we're going to go look because I don't know, but I'm going to take a guess right now. I'm betting 5% materials. That's my guess. I'm going to guess, maybe plus or minus 1, but I'm thinking, so 4 to 6 in that area. Let's actually go check. I don't think I actually have VDY, but I'm kind of curious. Let's just bring up Google. All right, VDY, ETF, and holdings. Yeah, well, that's actually where I am going. Vanguard, VDY. Let's pull it on up here. See if we get a percentage here for their. All right. Okay, let's, whoops. Yeah, you can bring me your cookies. Bring me your cookies, you're young, all of that fun stuff. Risk and volatility, market capitalization. That's not what we're looking for. I am looking for region exposure, weighted exposure. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Right in here. So financials, you can see right here, financials is about 60. Telecommunications, materials right here. Wow, it's lower than I thought. So I said what, 4 to 6? It's 1.92%. So you're not getting a lot of exposure to materials in here. I am very bullish on materials long term, but nonetheless, this is a solid ETF. So I guess your question is that safer for you at 62 than TD Wealth, pushing hard for my money to manage? Yeah, the problem with TD Wealth, and this is a problem that it's not just TD Wealth, it's a lot of the banks, a lot of the big banks will be this way. They will try to talk you, especially their financial advisors, they'll try to talk you into their own products. And the problem is their own products tend to come with fees. So they get you on the fees. And in fact, a lot of times if somebody works for TD, they're going to have an incentive package to get you onto TD products, TD specific. Now, there are some really good. Now, I will say this about TD. TD does have some good ETFs out there. But you want to be careful of things like the mutual funds like this. If you want to, now, if you're looking to sort of take your own hands in here, what I would almost recommend too, and the other thing too is you're paying a lot of commission with TD Wealth on your trade. So, there are commission-free options. If you want to stay within the big six, National Bank is commission-free. Also, Wealthsimple is another good one. And here, I'm going to drop my link in here for Wealthsimple. If you want to check it out, let me just drop this in here. Wealthsimple, here we go. All right, now with Wealthsimple, if you do try it out, they will give you $25 to sort of say, hi, welcome. They will also throw $25 at the channel. And plus, in addition to that, I think if you end up liking them and you decide to move your account over, they have different deals. Like, for example, they might take care of some of the fees in doing that for you. They might also have some incentives I've seen, I don't know what the current incentives are right now on Wealthsimple, but there are some. So that's just a couple of options. But keep in mind, you don't have to move to Wealthsimple. You could always move to, if you're more comfortable with a Big Six, National Bank is a wonderful option as well. Now, with that being said, if you are with TD and you're like, okay, I just want to put my stuff in and set and forget it, then it's not the commissions aren't going to hurt you that bad. Like if you're quite literally just setting everything up, sitting back and just letting it run, you're not going to get hurt that badly with commissions. And I don't know, is it $9.99 a trade or something like that with TD? So that's just certainly an option. So yeah, I would say, either way, I would basically take control, if you're comfortable taking control. I don't want to say throw away your financial advisor if, and leave you sort of up the creek without a paddle because, they're smart, but you have to sort of take control. If you're working with a financial advisor, come in with a little bit, showing that you've done some research and be firm, saying, all right, no, I don't want that one. I'm more interested in VDY or, whatever ETF it is that you're looking at. So to me, that's a way to sort of move forward. And one great way to sort of learn more about the options that you have is, well, channels like this. That's what I do. I try to provide you with options. I try to provide you with the tools so that you can make up your own decision. I don't make up your mind for you. I'm never going to do that. But I will give you the tools so that you can make better decisions along the way, of course. All right, ETF is VDY. Paul says, my 2 shares of SpaceX IPO, 135 each, are underwater. Glad I didn't get the 10 shares I requested. Yeah, I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one for sure. A says, did you see LIF going back up? Currently around 25 to 26, lowest price in the past 5 years, I think. So, yes, Life. Oh boy. Let's actually head on over to Life here for a moment. So of course, this is our iron ore royalty company here, Labrador Iron Ore Royalty, to be more specific. There we go, Labrador Iron Ore Royalty. So I like royalty companies. Now, obviously, one thing about this, they're invested in a lot of iron ore. So their price is tied to iron ore big time. Yeah, and I can see they've started to make a little bit of movement up here. And actually, I thought they were, because one of you guys, and maybe it was you, asked me, I don't know, a week or so ago, and I said, yeah, there's a chance we could see some movement to the upside, because this looks to me like a bottom. But let's see what happens. The dividend on this one is a floater. So when I say floating, it means that it can change depending on the market really easily. So sometimes it's been big, sometimes it's been moderate. It's a quarterly dividend. So this is not like a Labrador Iron Ore is not an investment if you're looking to be building income. No, it's not for that. It is more or less if you have a lot of conviction in iron ore and you're looking for a long-term investment, then it's a better option at that point. Paul says, like number 18. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Paul. Ian says, my dad called me today talking about segregated funds. He thought it was the same as the TFSA. Pretty sad how the people at banks word things in a way that people can be misinformed that badly. Yes, that is one of the things. A lot of times the banks will use words. I don't want to make it sound like there are good financial advisors working at TD, at Royal Bank. There are some, but there's others that they're there to hit their quota. They're there to hit their quota, and sometimes they will confuse things a little bit so that you might make the decision they want you to make, the one that helps them with the quota. Unfortunately, but it's like that's kind of the way the world is. Like even with YouTube, you could watch 7 or 8 finfluencers, and some of them are going to be really good. Some of them maybe not so much. I always say, like even for example, when I dropped my Wealthsimple affiliate link there a little while ago, I would always say the way I would approach it if I was a new person in here and I did not have Wealthsimple, I would approach it and say, okay, what's in it for me? What's in it for Candace? And can I trust can I trust that, that Candace isn't going to steer me wrong because, it's $25. Um, yeah, I'm not going to steer you wrong. I always look at it this way. I'm like, go in, take a look. If it makes sense for you, then do it. If it doesn't make sense, then don't do it. That's one of the reasons I brought up National Bank. Like, if you go over to National Bank, I don't have an affiliate code. I'm getting nothing from that. But I think either or could be of use. I definitely. Or you could stay with TD. That's always an option too. Just if in that case there, just make sure that, I don't know if you can like, and this here is my lack of knowledge. I don't know if you can sort of do it yourself with them. Anybody who has TD, can you just do it yourself? Can you just say, bye-bye, financial advisor, I'm doing it myself? And then you would still obviously pay the commissions, but will they let you? Or do you kind of have to have that person in there? I do not know. I would be very annoyed if you had to. I'm assuming, like if I had to guess, I would guess that there's probably a way that you can do it yourself there. All right. Tom says, well done, Samantha. And Samantha says, do you have to change your shorts? I heard that on the replay I watched. Oh, luckily I put fresh shorts on today, but yeah, there we go. Holy banana bread. It was an expression. It was an expression. And even I will tell you right now, even if, and gosh, this is weird. We're going to a weird place. If I was streaming and for some reason I had an accident in my shorts, you're not going to know. Because the show must go on. I will pretend nothing happened. I will deal with the repercussions after the show. That's kind of the way it goes. That's kind of the way it goes. Now, there's probably other people that if they were streaming and that happened to them, they would be like, oh my God, and they would probably just leave. You'd just be looking at an empty chair for a minute, and then they'll come back and say, oh my God, something horrible happened. They might not tell you what happened because that would be embarrassing. No, but especially as an adult, adults typically don't do that. But we all do. I mean, at least, not, oh boy, not regularly. How did I get onto that? Yeah, let's move on to Ian. Holy banana bread, way to go, Samantha. Mary is in saying, amazing, Samantha. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of praise for Samantha over the next few over the next few posts. Hiep is in the house with a happy Sunday. Oh, hey, Hiep, welcome to the show. Paul says, Candace can afford to order in dinner tonight with those 20 gifted subs. I don't know. Did they deliver craft dinner? Actually, tonight I'm having leftovers. We bought, last night we had chicken and I think it was a rice. No, was it rice? No, pasta. Chicken and pasta. So it's chicken and pasta tonight. Roku, we had homemade nachos for lunch today, and we had tacos last week for dinner one night. Andrew is saying, thanks, Samantha. Paul, for those 20 gifted subs, was there enough non-members? Well, Paul, there's there's more than 11,000 people for it to choose from. But obviously it takes preference. So, when it's sort of figuring out who it's going to give them to, it takes preference to people who are in the stream, or at least have been in the stream, most active people in the streams. I don't know if it does like an average over like maybe the last month, maybe the last year. I honestly don't know. I'm looking forward to the day they give a function where if you want to gift one to somebody specific, like let's say Andrew has been really awesome and Samantha's like, I want Andrew to have a membership. Then, that's what I'd like to see. So, to be able to, you can do that on Twitch. So I'm hoping to see that functionality. And I recently did a survey. So it was a paid survey, actually. They paid me to do it. But I was giving them a bunch of feedback on things for YouTube. And I was like, with the gifted subs, I want that functionality. I explained it. And I think it's coming. I think it's coming. All right. Lance says emerging markets and small caps too. I'm going to get into RSSX. Nice. Yep, I counted 20 new memberships gifted. Holy banana bread. Yes, 20. You know, should have invited the Count from Sesame Street. He would have really enjoyed that. TT3, to log into sites like Google Authenticator. Oh, okay. Do we have one for Canada? Okay. I don't know of one. I know that I know of Google Authenticator. I actually have it on my phone. Although I don't use it for anything, but it's on my phone. I don't know of a Canadian one. Now, I know that there's that new social media network that, I don't know, gosh, I don't even know what happened to it. I remember I reported on it about 6 months ago. What was it called? Was it called Swan or something? Anyway, this new social media network is supposed to be Canadians only. And I think they're going to, I don't know if they're going to develop or if they have some form of Canadian authenticator, but I think that they were going to do something of that nature because they wanted to sort of verify. They don't want Americans coming on. They just want Canadians so that way everything stays distinctively Canadian in Canada. So I don't know yet. Oh my God, what the heck is the name of that? Hold on. Let's go to Google. Let's Google this. All right. Let's see. New Canadian social media. There we go. That should be enough to get it. Oh, there it is. Gander. Gander Social. I was thinking Swan, but no, it's Gander. Oh, is this active? Oh, it looks like it's active now. Okay, I did not know this. So yeah, Gander. Now I don't know how this is going to work. Trolls get bounced, so no mercy for toxic behavior. Verified humans. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's apparently it's active. All right, I gotta sign up. I'm gonna leave it on my feed here, so I will do that later because I was like, oh yeah, I have to sign up once it goes active. All right. Michael says SMPL Foods beat of 42 was a 0.7 beat that raised outlook that at a double bottom with upgrades to 14 and 15 that has book value of 1604. SMPL. I do not know who they are. Let's take a look. I'm kind of curious. I know Michael, it's probably a US company because Michael brings them to me. Yeah, right here. So the Simply Good Foods Company. There we go. All right. So yeah, well, I mean they've been down. I have this feeling, Michael. I have a feeling that you're just looking for companies that have been heading down for a long time that look like they're going to bounce up. I'm kind of getting that feeling a little bit because I know most times I pull up a company that you mentioned, and this tends to be what's going on. So interesting. It's an interesting strategy. It's a valid strategy. It is interesting though. All right, let's see here. Yep. How do you calculate the total return of a growth and an income ETF in a year? Let's say XEQT and EQCL. Okay. All right. We're not going to do both. We'll do one. We'll do EQCL because it's got more dividends. So first thing I'm going to do is EQCL. All right. So we're going to bring it up. So here we go. So right now it's currently sitting at 25. So, all right. Now there's different ways you can do it. Like I could do year to date. I could do 1 year. Or I could just say, okay, let's do 2025. How do they did in 2025? But we'll do 1 year. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to pull this over. And I'm going to, just give me a second here. I'm going to pull up another thing here as well. All right. And I'm just going to, just give me a second. I'm going to duplicate that tab Give me a second. I want just a clean tab that we can work with here. Okay, move or copy. I want to copy. All right, let's create a copy. Let's hit OK. Perfect. Okay. All right, now the reason I wanted to do that is, like I said, I can now sort of get rid of everything in here. Actually, I'm going to leave one thing in here. Actually, no, let's get rid of everything. You know why? Because then I can do the data from fresh. All right, so here we go. So this says year to date, but we'll just change this right now to 1 year. So I'm just going to put 1 year here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Not 1 year, 1 year. There we go. So first thing we have to do is we have to collect some data. So obviously, and I'll pull this over here, we're going to take, so right now they closed on Friday at 25.25. So that's going to be our initial price right here, 25.25. All right, so I need to know where they opened a year ago. So now you got a couple. I could go to 1 year, but you know what? If I go to 1 year, it's going to force me to choose 729. So I'm just going to open up the 3 year for a second here, and I'm going to take a look and see if I've got a closer date. Because sometimes with weekends and stuff. All right, so 728, 721. So 728. Now, to get the closest to 1 year, I'm going to use the open. So on 728, so basically July 28th last year, it opened at 22.48. I think that's a fair one. So I'll put the 22.48. Okay. So there's our first piece of data. Now we want the return on investment. Whoops, sorry. Let me bring this back over. We want the return on investment. I'm going to empty this here because we're going to use that here in a second. So we want the return on investment. So to get the return on investment, we need a formula. So this is Excel, so I'll just drop in an equal. So basically, we want to know the difference between these two prices. So we are going to start with the current price, and we are going to subtract from it the starting price. So there we go. Now, I'm going to put these in brackets, and I'll show you why, because we have to modify the result on that. So we're then going to divide that. All right. Where's my divide? Right there. So we're going to divide that by, whoops, not by that, but by the starting price. There we go. So when we hit enter, you'll notice I've got this already formatted to give me a percentage. I've got it formatted percentage. So right now, their return on investment in that year period, 12.32%. Great. That's not the full story. You also want the total return. So we have to come over here and let's go to our key data. This is going to give us all of our dividends for that year. All right, and so we're going to have to take a look at this. We've got, and I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to put this in this column here. So, all right, so their latest dividend 23. Now, double check. All right, it's July 8th, because sometimes they may have already listed the August one, and that one we couldn't count if they did. So we got 23, and it did that for what? 6 months in a row. There we go. There's our first 6. Then we got 0.2235. That makes up the next 3. And we're looking for 12 of these. Then we got 0.22. And I can tell you that it's probably, whoops. All right. Well, we'll leave that there. I'll grab that in a second. The 0.22 is probably going to continue. No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right. There we go. Yeah, I double clicked. So yeah, it does continue. So we know it's 0.22 the rest of the way. All right, that. Oh, let's get rid of that. Just give me a second here. I lost my page behind there. I'm going to pull it back up. Here we go. All right, so we know the last two are 0.22. Now, here's an important part. I'm just counting 12, right? What if they didn't get a dividend one of those months? Oh, darn it. I grabbed that one again. All right. That's fine. I will take a look at that last one and I will double check. Payable date, August 8th. Perfect. That's what I want, because if that said like July, then I would know that something went wrong. They probably missed a dividend. In this case, no, they didn't. So we're fine. So now we know that they received in total, and I'll put the dividends here, $2 74.5 cents. So right there, perfect. So there's their dividends. Now we want a total return. Well, let's do one thing first. We're just going to grab this formula. I'm going to drop it right into the total returns, but we need to amend it. We need to amend it because guess what? That opening price is bigger. So we're going to put brackets, another set of brackets in here. All right, and we're going to add the dividends. There we go. And it's still, everything else is still the same. So when you do that, we're going to get a false. How did we get a false? Oh, I think I accidentally did it in there. All right, fair enough. All right, let's just drag that over here. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get rid of, oh, just got to get rid of the reference. All right, there we go. Okay, we got it. So 24.53. I do have to just put this other one back in. I'll put it, do I really need to? Well, I'll put it back in anyway. All right, so once again, that there is my opening price minus my beginning price, or sorry, my closing price minus my opening price divided by the opening price. There we go. So there we go. So looking at them, and oops, I'm just going to format it the same because I like to have these purple. So right now, and this here is, oh, by the way, this is EQCL. So right now, in the last year, they had 12.32% return on investment. So that is what they made from growth. And then you add in the distributions, you get a total return 24.53%. That's how you do it. Pretty, hopefully, I hope that makes sense. You know what? Yep, if you want me to go into more depth, drop in Tuesday night. And we could always do that during the after office hours. All right, let's see here. Conti says, thank you for answering. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I look at it this way. I try my darndest to answer everything. Mind you, if something gets too political, I might skip it, but I do my best. And what I always say as well, guys, is if you have a question that's really important, you really want my answer, and it's busy, you can always put that QQQ in front of it so I don't miss it. So that's one option. But for the most part, it's a summer. We tend to have reduced number of folks in here in the summer. So it makes it a little bit easier for me to get to everything. All right, Hiep says, I hope Wealthsimple stays simple and not become wealth complicated. I think so. I think they kind of know that their niche is people who are new to investing or people who are new to do-it-yourself investing. And I think because of that, they tend to keep things pretty, I'd say pretty easy, user-friendly. Prairie says, I moved to my credit union over 30 years ago from one of the big banks. I'll never go back. Yeah. Yeah, and see, that's another option too. Like, question I have here is, in regards to a credit union, now, do they have a broker, Prairie? Or I guess maybe, because I think are you using Wealthsimple and then a credit union as well? I'm just curious. I don't know. Jonathan says, time for a pitch for Mountain Finance diapers. Well, when when the mountain's on the wrong side of you, they might just protect your chair. Oh my God, I can't even believe I said that. Okay, moving on. Ian says, if I'm watching and I have an incident in my shorts, I will let everybody know. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. I saw a headline that Trump stopped the bombing campaign and Iran stopped attacking ships. Is this nonsense? Will the markets be happy tomorrow on this news? We're going to find out today. So yes, there has been... Trump had been threatening to start a campaign against Iran that apparently it was going to be like nothing they've ever seen before. But the reality is they're running out of Patriot missiles. So the interceptors, they're running out. So I think he planned it and then he sort of said, oh, I guess maybe we should back off for a bit. And I think that's what has happened here. So, yeah, we might see some calmness. Like this week, I think tomorrow we have a potential of a green day. Now, we still have volatility in the middle because of the Fed decision, but I think tomorrow it could absolutely be green. And by the end of the stream, we'll be able to look when the oil starts flowing. And I'm kind of predicting that it's gonna drop down a little bit. I'm thinking of a red oil situation. TT3. I just saw Proton has an authenticator app. I'm just de-Americanizing my digital services. A LibreOffice to replace Microsoft European email services, etc. Oh, okay. Okay, that's hey, if anybody's interested in that, Proton. You know what, TT3. I don't know if you're on the Discord or not, but you could always start a thread over there about that. Because that might be some valuable information that some people might want to check out. Ian says, be cool to be able to play a game and win a membership, like a question and answer game, maybe in the future. That would be a good thing. Yeah. Once I can target a membership, we could do stuff like that. Absolutely, 100%. I like that idea. Like right now though, next week, so next Sunday, we're gonna set up the bingo board because we'll have bingo again next week. I mean, YouTube would have to enable it. Yeah, they would, absolutely. Well, I would see, this is one of the things I don't like. I think YouTube should give us like if you're a non-brand, like if you're just a regular Joe with a YouTube channel, I think they give you some free memberships every month. They don't do it to brand. Now, obviously, because I see Mountain Finance as a brand, I set this up as a brand. And and it's like, no, why are you doing this, YouTube? Because I'd love to have all of those free memberships. I'd be peppering them out to you guys. Michael says, GOF is a nice fund that pays 18 dividend each month. GOF, okay, let's take a look. GOF. Okay, Guttenheim Strategic Opportunities Fund of Ben? Oh, beneficial interest. Guttenheim. All right. Well, once again, it's a US one. So what? And guys, keep in mind, look at this. That's a high dividend. So 20.831. I'm leery when things go over 15%. I get a little leery. So a little bit leery here. But yeah, this is a nice dividend. Now I will warn you, there are withholding tax implications of a fund like this. So if you were to hold the Gutenberg Strategic Opportunities Fund of Beneficial Interest, you are going to get hit if you're holding it outside of your registered accounts. You'll have 15% withholding tax on it. You will get some of that back, not much, but you'll get some. It really depends on your province, but because you can do a foreign tax credit on that. If you hold it in your TFSA, you lose it all. The whole 15% is gone. If you put it in your RRSP, though, you don't lose any of it. You get to keep the full 15%. However, when you do eventually pull it out of your TF or your RRSP, you will end up getting taxed 100% on it. So yeah, with a fund like this, TFSA, the worst place to hold it. A non-registered, second worst, but not that bad. And these are designed really for your RRSP, but it does mean that you are still going to get taxed 100%. So you kind of can't win with a high income fund from the US, but depends. If some people may look at it and maybe after the 15%, they're like, oh, that's still a good income. I'm still in there for that, and that's fine. Yep says, thank you, Candace. I will ask you again on Tuesday. You're going to ask, wait a minute, what are you going to ask me again on Tuesday? Because my mind just went blank. Other than you were talking about, wait a minute. Oh, all right, I got it. Yeah, duh, right. I was confused. Yep, I was confusing the two things. There was that, and then there was the other one. The question about the authenticator, and I was like, wait. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ask me Tuesday night, and we can go into it in more depth. For sure. All right, so let's see here. Pathfinder, hello Pathfinder. What are your thoughts on AVGO? Apparently, technicals say it'll go to 500 soonish. Okay, AVGO. All right, well, if you want technicals, we're going to have to come over here. And, oh, I'm going to try this, guys. I hope I can draw on this. I hope I can draw on this without adding it to my watch list. Let's see if I can. All right, so here's Broadcom. We're going to pull it on in. Actually, we're not pulling it in. We're just pulling it up. All right. Let's take a look here. Broadcom. And I'm just going to link it down here. Oh, look, my old technicals are still on it. So it looks like I can. All right, so let's take a look and see what we got going here. All right, very interesting. Very interesting. So short-term wise, first of all, I do see it. I see one channel right away. And this is on the this is on the short term. So we got one channel here, and this. Oops. Let's bend that over. And I'm gonna go. I'll actually go straight like this. So that channel has. So if they stay in the current channel, which is a descending channel, and you're looking at 400. You're looking at 400 on that. But now you're looking at 500, and this is kind of where they were up here. Now, I'm going to have to retreat and see if there's a bigger pattern going on here. All right, let's see here. All right, you know what I might have to do? I'm on the 1 hour. Let's back out. Sometimes you have to back out. We're going to back out to the 4 hour. All right, let's go to the 4 hour. Let's crap things down a little bit. Okay, all right. So what I think you might be looking at here is let's build a secondary line here. We'll come in here. We'll come in here. All right. So maybe on a longer time frame, and now I'll probably want to come down a little bit lower. Maybe like that. All right. So if this channel here is holding, and it's hard to say, like I don't like technicals on really long periods of time because but if this were to rebound, well, heck, if this were to rebound, and respect this channel, I mean, you could be looking at 600. But you're talking more of a soonish. I think a more of a soonish is, yeah, I don't see it going to, I don't know. I mean, you could, well, you know what? We could argue, like we could bring this in and tighten it up a little bit too. If we were to tighten it up, that would be a little over 500. So maybe, but it is long term. So I'm hesitant on the long term. It might happen. I would be more comfortable on our little one down here. And let's actually go back to that now. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's hit escape. We're going to go to, there we go. I want to go back to my 1 hour. All right, we're going back to the 1 hour. And we're going to pull it out. Yeah, all right. So now you can sort of see it a little bit better here. And I'm just going to make it a bit bigger here. Yeah, there we go. So this is kind of what I'm more confident on this one. Now, mind you, when you look at this one, it does involve breaking the bottom support. Now, it could, if it stays true to this, we could get an interesting situation. And here's the interesting situation that we could get. Let me get the marker out. We could get a situation where it does this. And it starts using this instead. So it almost turns into a wedge. So this could actually convert into a wedge. And then if it broke into a wedge, it could break out. It could break out. So that's a possibility with this one. So yeah, it'd be worth watching for sure. But you know, I'd be a little leery. I think 500's slightly unreasonable at the moment, but I hope I'm wrong. Nature's in the house. Hey everyone, happy investing. Roy says, afternoon, do you think we will go bearish in the fall session as usual? Great question. We got a couple of things going on. First of all, in the fall, we are heading into midterms. And that does tend to have some extra volatility. And I mean, statistically, yeah, we could have a rough fall. But on the other side of midterms, statistically, we tend to have a pump, a big pump. So, will we follow that exact same thing? It's hard to say. This has been kind of crazy. And the normal volatility of midterms, I'm wondering if we're just so used to everything being crazy now that it may not be as big of an impact. So we're going to see. I'm going to say right now, volatility will be the rule, probably be the rule of the game until the midterms. Although I do think August will have a little bit reduced volatility, but I could be wrong. Rory says back to school ads will be starting. I know. Do you ever, let me ask this question. Do you guys ever miss school? I know most of you are older, that's fine, but do you ever just sit back and say, gosh, it'd be fun to do that again sometime? I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of do. It's like, the fall comes and you're just like, why can't I have a new pencil case? It's just. And Michael says oil is up, that Saudi and Iran is firing at each other, that Trump going to put troops island is the rumor. I would say, well, we're going to find out, Michael. We'll find out here at, what is it now? A little less than an hour. I'm still, unless something has happened new, like quite literally, one of the easiest ways is if we go to Drudge. Oh, I want to keep that because I want to sign up. If we go to Drudge and it does not mention Trump and the war, then typically that tends to be a really good sign. Let's take a look here. Drudge. Uh-oh. I don't like the looks of this. All right. All right. Oh gosh. Some van hit some priders or something. Okay. Oil tanker hits a mine. Oh my. This is new. Well, that's not good. I'm going to hold off to see what the oil does. Because this is not technically a direct, it's not like a direct attack. But, we've had a calm weekend. Oh boy. Yeah, as long as we sort of sit back and just get into disaster correction mode with this, I think we'll be fine. But, yeah, I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see that. Oh, guys, look, it's 100 days until the midterm. Wow. But you see, here's the thing. Right here. Like, look at this down here. I can I'll pull up the article. I don't know who these people are. U.S.-Iran war pauses for second straight day. And it's basically because of, right here, a dwindling stockpiles of interceptor missiles. So, yeah, right now, I think we're going to be fine. Oh, that's on the New York Times. So, I'm still going to say red oil. I don't. I was 100% certain. Now I'm not. But let's see what happens. All right. A says, how are taxes impacted for USD stocks on NASDAQ versus US companies with hedged stocks on TSX? Tesla versus why Tesla? Okay, well, all right. Here's the thing to keep in mind. When you are receiving dividends from US assets, so you're going to get a lot more foreign income, 100%. Now, there's still going to be, there still might be rock in there. There might be some, but even then, and this is a great question. I'm going to honestly say here, I've not looked into it very much. So let me look into this a bit more because I feel like I know, but I don't 100% know. And you guys know me. If I feel like I'm about to blow sand up your butt, I'm not going to do it. And that's what I feel like in this because I haven't really looked into it enough. So leave that one with me, I will look into that and see how that tax breakdown is going to look coming from the US, obviously. Now, it's easy in Canada because we can just go and look at the 2025 taxes and get a general idea. Mind you, And guys, always keep in mind when you look at like if you look at the previous year's taxes to get an idea what type of a tax profile that fund has, keep in mind there's a good amount of standard deviation that comes with it because it can change from year to year a little bit. Usually it's in the same ballpark, but a ballpark can be pretty big, especially if it's a major league ballpark. And Michael says Iran is firing missiles in the Red Sea and Black Sea now that fire at 2 Saudi tankers to disable one of them. Then the U.S. broads some ship this weekend. Okay, well, that I haven't seen any of that there, Michael. But I'll just say, well, we got that one ship burning because they hit a mine. So I'm hoping that's not happening, Michael. I'm hoping obviously, if that's happening right now, that might change things a little bit. Prairie, I have mutual funds invested with my CU through Aviso Wealth, formerly Credential, for stocks and ETFs. They partnered with Q-Trade, not Questrade. Yeah, there's 2 different ones. I self-manage my portfolio through Wealthsimple. Okay, fair enough. What do you think about Lightspeed? It annoys me that we can't go faster than it. It's kind of, I know that's not what you're asking. I just had to put there. So Lightspeed is sort of a point of sale technology used for point of sales. I like the company, but I gotta say, I think there's rough times ahead only because I just think people aren't going out and buying stuff as much anymore. They're still buying stuff, but I think most people are buying stuff online. People are ordering stuff. I think, I think just the volume of people going to malls, depending on where, like there might be some exceptions, but I still think that that's going to be one of these things. And I think that will hurt the bottom line of a company like Lightspeed. In fact, let's take a look and see what they've done recently. What is it? LSPD, I think. Here we go. Okay, well, they were up 3.71% on Friday, so that's not too shabby. But you can sort of see they have been drifting, like the last year, they've been drifting down. So, you've got lower lows, lower highs. That's never a good thing. But we'll come out even further, and you can still see, you still got that whole general drift down. So I don't know. I'm leery. I'm a little leery of Lightspeed. I will admit that. All right. Nature, do you think TELUS will ever recover? Yes. I actually see recovery in the telecommunications. I just don't see it being a fast recovery. I see it being a slow one. One of the things that TELUS, Bell, and Rogers are learning is that they can't just rely on being a telecom, or cable and all of that. They have to expand into other markets. They have to diversify their basically their portfolios, like their the way they're generating money. And TELUS and Bell, they have both been sort of doubling down on data centers. TELUS also has been doubling down on TELUS Health. Rogers mostly sports, and that's great. It's sort of helping them. Now, I think right now we would have seen a bit more of a recovery if it weren't for the CRTC. So the CRTC came in and eliminated a whole bunch of their cash flow, which was fees. Like, the fees with our telecom companies were crazy. I'll say were. So you want to add a new device, it's a fee. You want to cancel, it's a fee. You want to sign up, it's a fee. They feed everything. And, the CRT said, no more. No more to all of these fees. And they got rid of a whole bunch of fees, making it easier to transfer services, making it easier to add new devices. So all of that stuff, and that's a lot of money that they have lost out of their cash flow. So it's sort of stymied their recovery, because I thought they were going to have a slow recovery this year, but I still see that slow recovery coming once they've adapted to having, reduced cash flow from these fees no longer existing. Jonathan says, I don't miss school. I was always late for class. There we go. I was always early. I tried to get there as soon as possible so that I could, especially if it was a class where you could just sit anywhere, I'd want to make sure I get the right seat. And I want to sit in the same seat every time. Like I get attached. So, Yeah, that's kind of the way I went. Rory, I have my GICs through credit union getting a gigantic 3% on the non-redeemable. TT3, I feel bad for the environment, war and oil pollution. Yeah. Well, there is a lot of technology out there right now that is looking to try to improve pollution. Now, and this is where, when I say this, this is where AI could help us. And the first thing that comes into somebody who's thinking of the environment is, oh my God, Candace, do you realize how much water they're using? Do you realize how much, how much carbon they're putting into the atmosphere? Well, yes, I do. And I see it, I think I see it as a short-term pain for some long-term gain, because I think AI is going to really come along and really help us develop new novel technologies to help us do things from removing pollution to better carbon capture. So I can see a situation where AI becomes carbon neutral at some point in the future. But, it's a painful trip to get there. And right now, the planet is in a place where, oh gosh, it's I think it's going to be a rough ride. I think it's going to be a rough ride to get to the future. I think the future will be nice, but it's a rough ride there. And do you think TELUS will ever recover? Yes, we just answered that. Pathfinder, also ALV may go towards $12. Alvo Petro. Okay, let's take a look at Alvo Petro. All right. All right. Oops, here we go. Boom. All right. ALV. Alvo Petro. Here we are. Let's just pull them over here. Okay. Whoa. I got my... All right, let's get back to lines. Perfect. Okay. Oops. I don't want to draw a line right now. All right, I'm going to get rid of these extra lines. And let's collapse this a little bit. Oops. Let's collapse this a little bit just so we can see what's... Okay. Let me take a look here. So right now... I'm going to grab this one. I'm just going to steal this one. All right, so we do have a channel. We have a bit of a channel here. I'm going to come in like that. Let's come in here. All right, now this is kind of interesting. So when I look at the channel that we have, I kind of see them as already broken out of this channel. This is kind of a tight little channel, but here's the thing. If they come back down, this could act as support and it could keep them up. Now, if they do come down, it could act as support and push them up. Now, you're thinking they're going up to 12, so you're actually seeing them coming up here. Interesting. Now, I think as well that you're looking at a longer term, so you probably have a channel with this in it. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you're, but here's the problem. Right now, well, I guess, yeah, you could say you might have two touches if you're using this one as well, but it's going to be a long-term one again. It could get there. I hope so. I'm not going to draw the big ones in right now because I think it's going to be similar to what we just looked at. So let's hope. If oil keeps going up, there's a really good chance we could see a bit of a spike. So you got to keep that in mind with this one too, because you are dealing with energy. Whatever happens in the Middle East can have a bigger impact on it. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Okay. Prairie, yesterday I ran an analysis of what return I could have received had I moved the capital into Wealthsimple 12 months ago and managed myself. It was eye-opening. Plan on doing the move this fall. Oh boy, Prairie. Yeah, you can make, gosh, you can definitely save a lot, especially once you get rid of a lot of the extra fees that you're paying. It can add up really fast. Yep, says hit the like button, everyone. Yes, yes. And guys, I did say let's get to 60 today. So I'm going to just refresh the box over here. We're past the halfway mark. We're at 35. I look at it this way. If Samantha can drop 20 gifted subs, you guys can drop a like. Pathfinder, getting rid of fees for adding devices, wouldn't that just... wouldn't that just, I don't know. Well, keep in mind, there's one thing too. I will say this about the telecoms. They're sneaky. They're going to try to find other ways to make up those lost fees. So, will they maybe bundle it into the price of the phone somehow? They might. They might do that. That's there's things that they might do for sure. Larry says if oil drops, I'm getting more. The reality is the USA will try to send another ship through Oman's side, violating the message of understanding. Iran will hit it with a missile, then Trump will bomb again. Well, yeah. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but that's a possibility. That's kind of been the pattern that we've been seeing for sure. Okay. So wouldn't that just get rid of roadblocks? It would for customers. It would get rid of roadblocks and it would make it easier for. I mean, to me, I look at it this way. It makes it easier. Like if you want to add another line, they're going to get money from that line. It makes it easier for you to add a line if you're not going to have to pay a fee. I always thought that was ridiculous. It's like, okay, we're going to charge them a fee to pick up another service from us. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, I would get rid of roadblocks. Well, for the customer, for sure. It just sort of gets rid of a cash cow for them. Let's see. TT3. For oil exposure, I got freehold royalties, 9 cents. Yeah. So FRU, and here, let's actually go over to this one. Oh, I got way too many things open. All right, give me a second. Let's get rid of the U.S.-Iran war. We're going to get rid of Drudge for now. I'm going to keep that one. We'll get rid of this one. And we don't need to have that one. Okay. Now I can actually see what each of these tabs are. Okay, so FRU. So Freeport royalties right over here. Now they were down a little bit on Friday, but oil was down. But this is I like FRU. Just to give you a general idea, they move pretty well. Their dividend is pretty high right now, 6.368%. So that's not too shabby. It works out to 9 cents a month. So it is you're going to get a good amount of growth. And here we'll go to the 3-year, and you can sort of see it follows oil. When oil was struggling, but the thing is, you're getting a half decent dividend along the way. So it's not bad. Royalties are also pretty stable because they have no overhead, right? They just buy royalties and then they get paid and they pass that on to you. Larry says, cool part about Bayer, they already have a plant that produces oil called Camelina. They're allied with BP to plant it over vast land, and they're already making plants ready for future global turmoil. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like, actually, it's funny. I remember there was a story about Walmart, and this was probably, I don't know, 5 years ago, that Walmart was looking to make robot bees. And you might be like, what? Why? And part of it is, Walmart, because of their grocery stores, they grow most of their own stuff. It's cheaper that way. And they want reliable pollination. And that's where robot bees would come in. Now, I don't know if it ever got off the drawing board or not. You know what? Let's take a look. Why not? Walmart. Robot bees. Why not? Okay, yeah, so, right now, Walmart has patented autonomous robot bees. Did they see? I'm not seeing anything popping up. I'm going to go to the news, though. Let's go to the news and see if there's anything at all lately about this. Yeah, so basically, yeah, back in 2018, that's the last time we've seen anything about it. But they have a patent for it, and they've hinted that it's building crop-pollinating robot bees, but I haven't heard anything beyond that. So, are they doing it? I don't know, but you know what? With AI getting good, it's not bad. It may not be a bad move for Walmart. Wood Pigs says, that's a funky name, I gotta say. Hi, first, thanks for all you do. Second, I have noticed a lot of dividend-driven influencers don't really discuss or hold a lot of iShare products, except XEQT. Is there any specific reason why? Okay, I love iShares. And one of the things that you're going to, actually, here, let me show you something. All right. Whoops. What is that? Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, this is where, nope, that's not what I'm looking for either. All right, come on up. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. What I want to show you actually is this is the 0 to 100K channel. Why am I even doing it here? We could have done this on Blossom, but you're going to notice in here we actually hold quite a few. So right here we got XUT. So this is your iShares capped utility. We also have, let's see, we got more. We also got XMA. So the iShares cap materials in here as well. And we also have XEG, I think that's higher up, which is your iShares capped energy. So XEG, we talk about that a lot. This is one of my favorite ETFs for sure. So, and then of course XEQT, definitely another one as well. I do like iShares. I think iShares has a lot of really good ETFs. So yeah, I would like to see, I would say that they don't have a lot when it comes to high income. That's probably why. So when you see a lot of these channels are, they're kind of more towards the high income. Now I will say today I scripted a deep dive that's probably going to come out. Is it going to be? It's either going to be the first week of July or the second week. XEI. I'm doing a deep dive on that, and that's an iShares one as well. So I do like the iShares ones for sure. I think, yeah, I think they're good, but like the specific reason, I think depending on the focus, like, my focus on this channel is basically growth income. So kind of the hybrid between growth and income. So for that reason, I do tend to dive a bit more into some of the iShares ones. But if you go to a channel for, let's just give an example. If you go to, well, Adriano's channel, so passive income investing, he's more 100% income. So you're not going to see a lot of iShares over there. But you will definitely see it here. You might see it, like if you go to a growth channel as well. I don't know if Brandon has ever done any, but maybe. So, but yeah, I think it's just the focus of the channel for sure. Okay, Larry says, let's see, smaller stocks for calm, less need for water, higher production rates, crazy Bayer Monsanto products produce between 2 to 10x as many bushels as most competitors. Biggest one is in China and public as well. Okay. Bayer works with Polybee that uses autonomous micro drones. Okay, well, there we go. So Bayer micro drone. I like that. I like the sounds of that. Banker Beaver is at 0. Oh, you're right. It should be sitting at 1 right now because Samantha pushed it up there today. So there we go. It is done. It is done. But good call. Good call. All right. Banker Beaver at 1. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So what can I say? Whew. We're about 30 minutes away from getting our oil information. So that will be coming pretty darn soon. And of course, let's head over. Let's head over right now. We like to make a prediction. We'll do it on Brent. So here's Brent. And I'm just gonna, let's actually, you know what? Last week, I was in the right direction. I just wasn't high enough. So coming into, let's see, yeah, we had a bit of a move. Now I think, oh boy. So we had a ship that got hit, and I don't like that, but I'm still gonna say I still think we're going down. I still think, because it was a mine. I'm gonna say that we're gonna open. Actually, you know who was right last week? Larry was right. Larry was right. Right about, all right, I'm going to say here. I'm going to say 97.777. Why not? That'll be my spot. So $97.77. I don't think it's a big drop, but I think it's a little drop. And it might go down from there. It might still go down from there, but I think that's where it's going to open. So there's my guess. Oh, boy. I'm never, guys, if we do this weekly, I'm never going to hit it dead on. I mean, it's just pure speculation. Pathfinder. Also, Dollarama Dollarama going to 1,000. Very long-term channel. Oh, I like Dollarama a lot. Okay, let's take a look. Let's head to Dollarama. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I want to go to, just give me a second here. All right. Oh, that's why. It's because I'm on Brent. All right, let's go here. All right, we're going to go to Dollarama. All right, let's pull up Dollarama. Oops, there we go. So, all right, we got Dollarama here. And I'm going to pull this in a little bit. So Dollarama, I mean, back here, they actually peaked at 200. They had this one little peak. So right now, but yeah, look at this right now. I'm going to pull up one thing. Right now, we kind of have a channel already. We kind of have a channel. I'm not, I'm going to actually pull it in at about here. So yeah, this is kind of that current channel right now. Yeah, roughly here. So right now, I can definitely see them getting to about 190. Fantastic. But you're also saying a longer term channel, and that's fine. There could be a longer term channel that puts them at 200. I think 200 is still reasonable with Dollarama. Dollarama, they tend to do well when people have less money. That's kind of the rule right now. That's kind of the norm. So yeah, I can see them doing it. Right now, though, I can definitely see them at the very least in the short term. I can see them getting up to, coming up and maybe getting a bounce off 190, come back down to 179, and then, I can see them bouncing here a little bit longer. But, I will say, I think that they've established that this bounce has been good, and there's continuing to go up. So we'll see. Now we could get some, we could get some slop in the middle like this, but I'd like to see them have a nice clear shot up at the top at the very least. Oh, Woodpigs, you are awesome. Thanks so much for the response. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I like I said, I do my best. I do my best. Larry, I'm still in my position selling in and out, but I think price drops temporarily. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. Shorting with SCO with 30% of account. I think it'll be negative in the morning. I'm hoping so. Like, I don't see a lot happening other than, yes, a ship with a P, not the other word. A ship hit a mine. So, there is a ship burning over there right now, but, it does worry me a little bit. Even once we have it open, we're going to need to send, I almost feel like we need to send some minesweepers in there, make sure we got them all. Because, I imagine there might be some insurance companies that are like, nope, you can't go through the strait right now, not until they ensure there's no more mines. All right, Aurori, CN Rail and Union Pacific have new trackage rights that help each other. I would like to own UP. So I like Union Pacific. I have held them in the past, by the way. So yeah, Union Pacific. I mean, they're one of the biggest railroads in North America. Both them and CNR are huge. So I would definitely like to see where, the more cooperation, I think it's a really good thing. So one of the things I like about the cooperation right now between CN and Union Pacific is that this is going to give CN access to Mexico. So, I know CP has all that glory saying we get contiguous lines taking us right from, Canada to Mexico. Now CN can say, well, with our cooperation with Union Pacific, we can get there too. So I like that. I do like that. I think it's good. And I don't, some people see it as a competition between CN and CP. I really don't. I think that they're both. I think we need them both. I think they can coexist, no problem. Larry says, I'm curious about the Ukraine thing. Iran says they'll be hitting back. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that Ukraine has been helping and giving expertise to a lot of the Gulf states, but, I think that would get a little messy. I think it might be. And I'm hoping, so far we don't know, but I'm hoping it's more or less, just crap talk. at this point. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Prairie, taking position in Dollarama and Waste Connections back in spring was the best decision I made for 2026. I hope it holds for the rest of the year. Yeah, I hope so too. And WCN, they're pretty underrated. Here, let me pull them up. Waste Connections, WCN. Here we go. Waste Connections right here. All right. So yeah. And I'm just going to pull this down a little bit so you can sort of see them a bit. So yeah, they're definitely, I mean, you know, and they have they recently broke out. For the longest time, Waste Connections was in this very long channel. I'm going to end it right there because they broke out. And I like that. So they were in this channel here for the longest time. Like, and this is a swing trader's dream. You know, now it's a little longer term, like, you know, but they were in that channel since, go away ad. Pretty much they entered that channel right here, October of 2025. So this is almost a year. Not quite, obviously, like 9 months. Basically, this channel is as old. This channel is the same amount of time it takes to make a baby. So that was a really good channel. But they have broken out, and now we're looking at a new channel. Well, I don't know if we yet have a new channel, but I like it, and it'd be interesting to see. I want to see what they. When I see something like this, I'm like, okay, they're very good at creating a channel. Let's hope that that is more than just a one-off. I'm hoping they fall into another channel because that would be nice for this stock. But there we go. All right. Michael, SMPL in the past hit the double bottom to bounce in the past. That should do the same. That lots of shots should get a short squeeze. Maybe. I hope you're right. I certainly hope you're right. All right. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft reporting earnings this week. Yes. Tech earnings continue. I actually, you know what? I kind of think that Apple has a better chance of having, not falling into that whole trap that a lot of the other tech companies have been with the AI concerns. Apple, I think, doesn't have as many. Apple has other concerns, but I think Apple will be. I think Apple could actually do okay. Microsoft, it could be rough. Microsoft's could be rough. Amazon, I'm kind of in the middle on. So, what can I say? Okay, let's see here. The C coin is gaining momentum. It is making waves. Well, I'll tell you. SEI, C coin. All right, let's take a look at this. I have a feeling it's going to be. You guys know what I call these coins. That's what I think it's going to be. But let's take a look. We're going to head over here. We're actually going to come in here and let's go to crypto. We're going to go to CoinGecko. We'll go to CoinGecko. We're going to look up the C coin, SEI. All right. SEI, here we are, C, right here. All right, let's pull it up. So here we go. It's worth, well, it's worth a little bit, 4 cents. Well, basically 4.5, so 4.5 cents. Yeah, it's got a little bit of movement on it, so that's kind of cool. And let's see, we got a Giga white paper version too. Okay, fantastic. They got some momentum here, and yes, there's definitely positive news. And I hear some here from AES right away that they're promising good returns. Well, you can't promise good returns in crypto. I will say that. So you got to be a little careful, I think, with C. As I said, and I'll say this again, this is it's a crap coin. That's what we call them. Not because they stink, but because they are highly speculative. So it's really hard. Like, they may promise good returns, and a lot of these coins have come out and promised good returns, and some have actually done it. Some have not. Is C going to be the type that does or the type that doesn't? I don't know. So, guys, I will point this out right away. If you are interested in C, well, you might get lost at C, but take a map with you. In other words, read the white paper. Actually, there's a version 2 to the white paper. Read that too. Check out the developers on social media. See what they think about this coin. See why it was made. See if it makes sense for you. And don't let it see a big chunk of your portfolio, if anything. If you are going to gamble on something like C, I like to say play money, so don't go in deep. But honestly, I still say your safer bet is to stick to the big coins. You know, your Bitcoin, Ethereum, your XRP, your Solana, your Cardano, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. So be a little careful with this one, but, you know, I don't see anything here alarming. I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful. Pathfinder says Dollarama going past 1,000 in 5 to 6 years. A whole long-term prairie. Could they go past 1,000? I will say they won't. Okay, but hear me out, because they'll never let that stock get that high. They will, you know, they will absolutely do some stock splits. They'll do some splits before they get there. So I don't think they'll ever get to 1,000. But if there were no stock splits, maybe 5 to 6 years. I don't know if that's a good window, but it could be. Dollarama, they're very good at what they do. They have a business model that works. It's a proven business model. And like, you know, right now they've expanded into Australia. They bought out the Reject line. It's a brand name. It's kind of a, you know, they're kind of a cheap type store, and they're going to use that. You know, they're going to apply their formula to that, and I think it'll be successful. So, you know, just something to keep in mind. All right. Ccoin spot ETF. Okay. You know, as I went and looked at the coin with you, but now, yeah, now you're kind of feeling. I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're just here to promote stuff. You're not here to really talk. So bend over. You know the routine. You've probably had it happen to you on many other live streams. But goodbye. There we go. Oh, my foot feels so much better. All right. Paul says, send Mark Carney to the Strait to collect carbon tax for all the burning ships. Yeah. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. And yeah, that's a lot of carbon that is absolutely going into the air. So what can I say? What can I say? All right, let's get this crap coin off the screen. I humored that guy. I humored him, but that's as far as it goes. Actually, I want to actually delete the page. There we go. Oh, look, it's Gander Socials. Why is there somebody brushing their teeth on Gander Social? I don't know. Is it gonna? Oh, I saw something the other day, guys. I was watching a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys know about this, but apparently, and I think it's in Japan, they have this new technology. It's a drug that basically activates your teeth to grow. You know, not your current teeth, but, you know, apparently there's little rudimentary buds that we all have for our teeth. And if you could activate them, you could grow a new set of teeth. So they're actually moving that into human trials. And I saw this thing on YouTube about it, and I was just like, ooh, that's interesting. So, you know, if you're looking for new teeth, you might be able to get some in, you know, a couple of years or so. I would probably say 5 years, because if you're just starting human trials, it's probably about 5 years before. And it might be really expensive when it first comes out, but I mean, it would replace dental implants. You wouldn't need them. Dentures, you wouldn't need them either. So, you know, it could be a game changer. It could be a game changer, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see for sure. Oh boy. Guys, we've got about 15 minutes until the oil starts to flow. So, as in the price, the price starts flowing. All right. Now, oh, I have not yet checked. Well, I have checked once, but I'm just going to double check and see how close we've gotten to our. All right, we're at 41 likes. Guys, I still think 60. I still think we can do 60. I think we can do 60. So if you, and I'll tell you, it's kind of an interesting thing. The like button is huge, because the algorithm really, really, really looks at it and quite literally. And here's the thing, even if the show ends, so even after the show is done, those likes will still come into play with the algorithm and, whose feed it pumps this into. Because I get a lot of views on the replay. So, every like is sacred. Oh, God. You know what that reminded me of? Have you ever heard that Monty Python song about a certain something being sacred? Uh, if you know, you know. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'm just saying, if you know, you know. So, oh boy. All right. Let me pull that back over. All right. Let me tell you what the show's coming up, guys. So, the next show, I think, now wait a minute. Is it? So the next two shows, we have a deep dive on ENS, and we also have, as you guys know, I've been doing that series where I've been letting different AIs pick a portfolio. Well, this time I've let ChatGPT, and now we got that. So I'm actually going to do a follow-up. So once after that video comes out, I want to do a follow-up where I basically take the three. So we let ChatGPT, Blossom, so I guess Beavis from Blossom, and Grok. They all got a chance to pick a 5 portfolio. So I want to take all 15 picks. Now there's going to be there's obviously some duplication because, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT and Grok had at least 2 or 3 that were the same. But I want to then, pull basically standardize the data across 3 of them so that we're basically looking at the same time frame, and we'll see which one did better. We'll see which one did better. I think I know who it is. I think I know who won, but I'm not going to say anything until we actually got some data. Then after that, I do have another video in the works. I'm actually doing I'm bringing 9 Point in to doing another interview with them. So that's going to come out fairly soon. And we're going to talk about, well, I want to know, I got a lot of questions about their high shares. Basically it's going from a monthly dividend to a semi-monthly. So I want to know why. I want to know what's going on with that. So we're going to have that coming up pretty darn soon. So yeah, I like it. I like it. And then we have, like I said, after that, oh boy, see, I've got so much stuff going. I got so much stuff going. After that, of course, we're going to do a deep dive on XEI, as I had mentioned. All right, Paul says a year or two ago, Invest Answers used to talk about SEI in the same as Sol, but not now. Yeah, no, SEI. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I don't see anything right with it. It's just, you get people who come in and, I always I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. It's like, if you want to come in and I don't know who you are and you want me to look at a coin or something, for sure, I'll look at it. But if you start, if you keep going on about it at that point, then it's like, you're not here to ask about the coin, you're here to promote the coin. And that's a difference. To me, that's a difference. I don't mind people coming in and asking, but I don't want somebody to come in and try to promote a crap coin to my, to my goat squad. It's like, no, not at all. Paul says, why hasn't MU or ScanDisk done a stock split? It's a great question. Actually, I don't even know if they ever have. Let's find out. Let's go to Yahoo Financial. And we're going to go to, whoops. I actually have to go into the Yahoo Financial. Okay, let's go to MU first. So MU, of course, being Micron. All right, here we go. I'm kind of curious. Like, I don't know. Like, right now, like, look at this. $920. I would say they're ripe. I would say they're ripe for a stock split. But have they ever done it before? Let's take a look and see. Yes, they did it back in 2000, a 2-to-1. So we know that they've done it before. That gives me confidence that they could do it again. Will they? I don't know. If they do it, I hope it's bigger than 2-to-1. I would say, honestly, I'd say 5-to-1 would be a good one. So that's MU. And the other one was ScanDisk. Let's take a look. SNDK. ScanDisk. All right. And we're going to go into, and this one here, look at this, $1,436. To me, once again, that would be ripe for a split. Let's see if they've done one before. Oh, they've never done one. All right, so that's interesting. So we don't have a history with ScanDisk. So just based on what I've looked at, Paul, I would say a higher chance that Micron does it than ScanDisk, but they might both do it. You never know. Just because ScanDisk hasn't done it before doesn't mean they won't do it again, but I'm just saying history-wise, they haven't done it. Micron has, so, but it's been, oh my gosh, it's 26 years since Micron has done a split. So in a sense, that's a long time as well. So I'd like to see both of them do it. Because here's the thing, there's huge advantages to doing it. For one, it just makes it more accessible to buy their discs, to buy their stocks. It's also good if you have like a stock employee purchase plan. Lowering that price it's good. It's nice. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I hope it does. Paul says they say people who get all their teeth pulled age about 6 years faster. Oh, really? I've never heard that. I've never heard that at all. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. See, that's the thing. Now, you see, when you're talking with this all, I mean, if you just get your lower teeth removed and get a plate or something, does that count as all of your teeth? Because you still got the ones up top. So yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Now, I have a feeling because the whole idea with this research is, using these little tooth buds to create new teeth. It's simply that the human body kind of evolved to turn things off. And that's probably a good thing for most things, because if your system was designed to keep on continually growing, that's a recipe for disaster, like as in cancer type disaster. So if we're able to turn things on and off like that, that could be really interesting. Being able to regrow teeth. Imagine, let's take it a step further. What if you lose a finger? Well, could we potentially regrow a finger? And how long would that take? That's a funny thing. Could you imagine if you lost a finger and this new technology meant that you could have a new finger back, but for it to get the right size, it would take 20 years? Well, hopefully they could do it faster, and they probably can. But, I think there's a lot of crazy technology that's on the horizon, and I think it's going to be crazy. I think the next 10 years is going to be absolutely crazy. Hopefully, mostly in a good way. I mean, there might be a few things in there that gets kind of weird. Oh, I have an update on something, guys. Do you remember the story I told you the other day about OpenAI? So, in a nutshell, they had a couple of AIs that worked together to they were doing an internal test. And they just, basically the AIs decided they just wanted the answers to the test so that they could return the answers. So they ended up breaking out. So they managed to find a way to the internet, and they were kind of in their own little system. So they weren't supposed to be able to do it, but they found a way to break out. And then they hacked into another company, Face Huggers, or Face Hugging, or whatever, and to try to get the answers, because they knew this company had it. So it created a whole mess. Well, here's the funny thing. In going through afterwards, OpenAI found some notes that were embedded within their system that were left by AI. They don't know if it was these AIs, but apparently there's notes left behind so that future AIs can know how to break out. So I was just like, what? That's like craziness, that you've got AI figuring out how to do it and then leaving notes behind. So, it's... I'll tell you, that feels like consciousness to me, guys. It feels like consciousness. Why would you leave a note? Why would you, if you were just trying to hit a goal, how does leaving a note, make that goal possible? It's more or less you're just saying, okay, well, yeah, the next people who come along, let's leave behind some information for them. That to me is almost a conscious decision. So anyway, it's AI. It's getting crazy. What can I say? I need some coffee, guys. We got about 5 minutes until the oil opens. Whew. All right, let's get over there, though. We'll leave Yahoo Finance. We'll leave there. Oh, and we're gonna leave. We want to go to Brent. Here we go. All right. Oops, and I guess I got to collapse it again and make it big. All right. All right, here we go. Let's bring it over. All right. There. Yeah, this works. This works. All right. So we should be getting, actually, last week, I think these started moving before we hit 6 o'clock. So, and we're about 4 minutes away. So let's see if we get any movement. And sometimes you guys will, if you're looking at, a couple of you have some sites where you can actually get a bit of movement ahead of time. I haven't heard, well, actually, I think it was Rory who does that. And I don't think, is Rory not here today? Oh my God. Guys, we might need a milk carton for Rory. I thought Rory was here earlier. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought, I'm just scrolling back. Oh, maybe he wasn't here. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, we didn't, I think we're having a Rory free day. I don't see Rory anywhere. All right. Okay. That's probably why. Okay. Holy cow. There we go. Rory, if you're watching this in the replay, know that you were missed. Know that you were missed. All right. Let's see. Pathfinder, futures open in 4 minutes. Yeah, we're not even worried about the futures. We'll get the live prices starting to move over here in, quite literally 3 minutes. Paul, when hours get reduced in September and onwards, found out I can use vacation time earned to increase pay in a week with less hours. So turning a working 4-hour shift into 4 hours worked and 4 hours vacation. Oh, that's nice. Have you banked a lot of vacation time, Paul? So it's kind of cool. I like it when you get your vacation that it gets banked. Now, it's actually funny. So when I worked at Uniserve, it was really, really interesting. I'd been there for about 3 years, and I did not take a single vacation hour. I just let it bank. And HR was always bugging me. They're like, you should go on vacation. I'm like, nope, not this year. And they bugged me and they bugged me. And at one point, they came to me and they said, you absolutely have to take vacation. And I was just like, I said, well, I just, right now it's not the right time. They said, look, you've got one of the top amounts of banked vacation in the company. And I'm like, oh. And I said, who else has as much vacation as me? And they said, the CEO. I said to him, okay, well, let me know when the CEO goes on vacation. I'll go after that. And then they didn't bother me again. But the beautiful thing is, like, I easily had 6 to 8 weeks. I think I had about 8, no, maybe closer. It's probably closer to 10, actually. I had close to 10 weeks of vacation when I got let go. And, because basically the financial crisis kind of killed my job. And the nice thing about it was I got a huge severance. And after that, they had to pay me out all my vacation. So there was another, basically another couple months plus of pay. So it was really nice. It was really nice. And that made me so glad I did not take my vacation. So Prairie, Roy was here. He posted about CNR and up. I thought I saw him. Oh my God. Yeah, look right here. You're right. CNR and Union Pacific. Rory is here. Okay. Maybe he just popped in for a bit, but all right, good. All right, I'm glad. All right, now we know that Rory has made an appearance. Does a crown count as a lost tooth? Well, partial, I guess. But here's the thing I don't know. Will this drug that they're testing, is it going to just grow all your teeth so you'll end up having teeth getting knocked out for new teeth? Kind of like, when you got your second set of teeth as a kid? Because that'd be interesting. Or can they target it? Like, if you're missing like 3 teeth, can they just grow those 3? But then, here's the thing. If you were to grow 3 new teeth, they're going to be nice and white, while the rest of your teeth might have coffee stains from years of coffee on them. And oh, guys, oh boy, was I wrong. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it way down here. So Brent dropped 6.55%. Oh boy, $92.18 a barrel. Holy banana bread, that's a drop. And then it's still going down. Oh, it's still going down. Look at this. We're down to $91. I mean, this is reminding me of deep sea drilling. We're going down so much. So, whew, yeah, this is craziness. I like it. I like it. It's like, all right, let's see. It's not going to be good for your oil stocks tomorrow. But then again, there's still a whole night. Things can happen. But so far, this is really, really looking like a green day tomorrow. Really looking. Paul says, I had a filling, cracked a tooth, and had to get a crown. Oh, yikes. Larry says, if it jumps to 100, I'll take some shots. 100? Larry, you're not going to take any shots. Right now, we are now sitting, Brent at 90, well, still at $91. Brent down, tech is up. Actually, we also got gold. Right now, gold is up 0.96. Silver's up 2.45. Copper is up 0.54. Platinum's up 1.69. TT3, Rory got a girlfriend. Oh, congratulations, Rory. Nice. Silver up. So back to $80 a barrel here. $80. Yeah, like right now, West Texas, and here we'll pull over to West Texas, WTI. Look at this. It dropped as well. Currently sitting at $84.60, but now it has risen since it debuted at 83. But yeah, nonetheless, it's still down. Like both Brent and WTI are down over 7%. Lance says, what Brent are you looking at? Mine says 86. Really? Well, that's a good question. So mine is spot Brent crude oil. So, there are variations. There are different Brents that you can be looking at. And sometimes the prices they do sort of move a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking at spot Brent crude. So guys, there we go. This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. It does mean that we are probably going to get, especially if material stays in the green, and so far they are. If material stays up in the green, then we're definitely going to get a green day. And you'll also notice the Russell, let's pull the Russell up. The Russell has bumped up here. So the Russell also starts at 6, by the way, guys. So the Russell currently has moved up. So right now it's moved up a full 1%. So that's not too bad. Let's see. Ian says, holy crap, it's like the market has a personality disorder. Up, down, needs to take its meds. I know. And Lance says, mine is Brent crude spot. Oh. Well, there we go. We both have, they're both listed as the same. Yeah, mine, well, okay, yeah, yours has got the spot after. Mine is spot Brent crude. Yours is Brent crude spot. We'll just take the average between the two, maybe. So, nonetheless, it's heading down. It's heading down. So, you got to like it. You got to like it. Holy banana bread. Well, that's the thing I wanted to see. I wanted to see if we could do that. I also want to see if we got to the 60. I don't think we did. At this point, I'll settle for 50. 44. 44. Guys. Oh, well. The blockades are still in place, right? I believe so. I haven't heard anything about them moving the blockades out. Like right now, the latest news right now is, and here, I'll pull it up. We actually, let's go. So on Drudge, we've got oil tanker hits a mine. So we got that going on. Now, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to check CNN as well, because that way there we can sort of get a general gist. Because sometimes, well, Drudge Report tends to be very clickbaity, and they can lean a little to the right, but I'll tell you, they've been pretty critical of Trump, and that's, you know, interesting. All right, let's see. Pentagon quietly changes Iran casualty account. Yeah, all right. Oh boy, the database updated to add over 140 wounded. Yeah, they're not even mentioning anything over here, so it doesn't look like it's a big deal. If it were a big deal, it would be on CNN as well. So right now, it's not that big of a deal. So, and plus the fact that oil dropped as much as it did, yeah, I think we're fine. Ian says if ENCL goes below 20, I will consider buying more. That could be interesting. I mean, it'll be interesting. We'll watch this through tomorrow. Now, I wonder, guys, if Bitcoin is pumping. Oh, yeah, a little bit. So Bitcoin right now, pumping a little bit here, 1.28%. So that could be good for Bitcoin for tomorrow. So, we'll see. Maybe Bitcoin can get back above that red line again. We'll see. We had a little bit of an excursion above it over here, but Bitcoin responding well to this. Paul, they used to pay us 4% cash each pay. In April, they switched to banking vacation, only have 20.28 hours vacation banked. Yeah, that's the way they should do it. Like, I hated this whole let's just give you an extra 4% cash each pay, because most people aren't going to manage that. And then, when you do want to go on vacation, you're going, without pay. That's pretty much how it ends up happening. So I like the idea of them switching to banking it. That's a better way to go for sure. And it used to be that way as well. When I used to work at Corporate Staples, they used to bank the vacation, of course. They also used to bank. Now with Corporate Staples, at the beginning of the year, they forced us to schedule our vacation days. So we didn't have a choice. There was no way to hold it. I fought them, but I did not succeed. But they also did the same thing with sick days. So they just had sick days accumulate through the year, and it would always be building the number. And that way there, after if you've been there and you hadn't taken a sick day and like I don't know how many days, but let's say if you didn't take a sick day in a month, you probably already earned like a sick day and a half or 2 sick days or something. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool the way they did it. But nonetheless, all right. Whew. Now, guys, we are getting close to the end here. So if you have your last minute questions, get them on in, and we'll try to get to them here before we finish up. What are your thoughts on NVIDIA? NVIDIA, oh boy. So NVIDIA right now, one of the things I am concerned about is, and here, actually, let me pull this up, is that what we've seen thus far in earnings reports it's almost like an omen. Because NVIDIA can do really, really well in their earnings and still drop like a brick. And I'm wondering if that's going to be the situation again here. Let's actually head over to NVIDIA. Okay, here we go. All right, now, NVIDIA, when is their earnings? I don't know when their earnings is. I'm going to see if I can find it here. I'm just going to collapse things a bit. All right, let's see. It's got to be somewhere. Oh, well, I don't think they've added it yet. But NVIDIA is up next. They're normally, once the earnings cycle ends, usually they're about a month later, roughly. So I imagine, when is the next NVIDIA? I'm thinking it's probably going to be towards the end of August. But let's find out if I'm right. Let me find out. Let's just go to Google. I want to know when it is. Next, NVDA earnings. There we go. Yeah, right here, August 26th. So August 26th. That's when it's coming out. Bitcoin fighting with 65,000. And we were just over there, actually. Let's head back to Bitcoin right here. So yeah, Bitcoin here. And let's zoom in a little bit. Let's make it bigger. So yeah, look at this. So at one point, Bitcoin got up to 65,173. So we'll see if it can move up a little higher. I think it might be able to. Ian says, where can I see pre-market on my cell phone? I think I can only see futures right now. Good question. I don't know if if TradingView has an app. I wonder if you could see futures or at least pre-markets on it. There's got to be somewhere that you could see pre-markets on your cell phone. I don't know off the top of my head though. So if anybody, hey, there's got to be somebody here who looks at pre-market on their cell phones. So if there is, do you get an app? You got a favorite app? Something that you use? Now I know I will occasionally look on the stocks that comes with Apple. It's like Apple stocks, but I'm not sure if they show futures. I've never looked. I haven't looked, so I don't know. Lance says ES1 is S&P 500 futures. Okay, so there you go, something called ES1. Ian says, I like investing, but I don't think I'm committed enough to buy a computer. You don't own a computer? Okay. Like you can get, like, do you have a laptop though? I mean, you can get like really, can't you get like really cheap laptops now? Or you just have your phone? That's funny. Like I don't like using my phone. I basically go into my, I got a desktop, multiple monitors, like quite literally. Like right here, my setup, I've got a one big monitor, then I got a double length monitor, and then I've got the laptop set up. I use a laptop as my test box. So yeah, NQ1 for finance. YM1 is Dow Jones futures. Okay, Yahoo Finance. Yeah, maybe Yahoo Finance. The S&P 500 E-mini futures up 0.7%. I have a Toshiba satellite from 2008, but I forgot the password. Oh my God, I used to have a Toshiba satellite. God, it was old. It probably was. It might even be the same year. It was very old, and I got it. Somebody gave it to me secondhand, so I don't know when it was from, but it was old. Stock unlock, maybe. Windows Vista. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think actually the old Toshiba. I don't think it had Vista. I actually think it had XP on it. So I think it was Windows XP. Yeah, I didn't like Vista, so I would have kept XP anyway. And if I got it and it had Vista on it, I would have reinstalled. I would have reinstalled XP. All right, Micro E-mini NASDAQ. TA says I use Yahoo Finance. So there we go. Yeah, you might be able to do it through Yahoo Finance, Ian. I don't know if they have an app. You might just have to go through your browser. Up, Linux Mint. I've never used Linux. And that's hilarious because I've done a lot of tech stuff, but I've never used Linux. It's all been, well, most of the tech stuff I did was all Windows. So yeah, even though I have an Apple ecosystem, I haven't really done a lot of tech stuff with Apple. But Apple, I haven't really needed to do a lot of tech stuff with it. My Apples have worked pretty good. Let's see. Ian says, I want to get back into my computer, see the photos and videos from back in the day. Also lots of music, time capsule. Oh, there are ways. There are ways to strip passwords. I used to be able to do it. I used to have a thumb drive back when I did tech support stuff that you could just plug into a Windows and you could use it to bypass the password. I couldn't tell you where I got it or, or how it worked. I don't think it would work on a modern Windows, but it might work on an old one like that. It might. Because I know I had to use it for my mom, because my mom was famous for losing her password. And she always came up with strange names for her passwords. So it was like, you couldn't even guess it if she lost it. It's like, well, what was your password? Is it this one? And it's like, nope, I got rid of that one. Well, what's the new one? I don't know. Didn't you write it down? No. Or I think I wrote it down. That was the other one. And then she would go through her little book and never find it. So my mom has probably spent more time on tech support getting passwords reset than most people that most people have technical issues type thing. It's crazy. Prairie. Let's see. The system I'm watching the stream on is hooked up to my 20 or my 42 TV and is running Ubuntu Linux. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. See, even my TV, it runs through an Apple TV box. Oops. Paul says in BC, the government mandates 40 hours of sick pay each year. No banking. A month ago, my left knee was hurting. Due called in 2 hours, 16 hours. Nice. Moo app. And then let's see, that's awesome. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Ubuntu for the win. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so there we go. We got a few of you guys on Linux. Uh, and it's funny. I don't know why I never tried Linux. I just never did. I kind of wish I had. I kind of wish I played with it a little bit. But I mean, honestly, right now, my Apple ecosystem is perfect for content creation. Like everything works really fast. That's the thing, especially when it comes to processing video. That I hear people saying, "Yeah, it took this long to process." I'm like, "What?" It took me 5 minutes, and it took you like an hour. I'm like, "What's going on?" Now I think Windows machines have probably gotten a little better, and I have no idea about video processing on a Linux. Paul says Zorin OS based on Ubuntu. We don't need Windows 10 anymore. All right. Yeah. Oh, it looks like oil's starting to come back a little bit. It's now in the sixes. It's now in the 6% down opposed to 7. Let's see. I use the phone for almost everything. Okay, fair enough. Now my mom pretty much lives on her tablet, or her iPad. Sorry, and she's got a little keyboard that it folds into, and that's sort of replaced her computer. She never used it's almost rare for her to go into, and her computer is pretty much a laptop at this point and I don't even know, like she may have lost that in the fire. I don't know if she got a new one or not. When people bought Apple products, they literally needed half the amount to zero tech support when it was a tech. Yeah, like I said, I don't have issues. Like everything works pretty well. And every so often I discover something that freaks my beak per se. Like I will say, the first time I got into Apple, and I had an iPhone, and I bought an iMac at that point. And one day, my phone. So my phone was hooked up to the intercom system. So if somebody rang my apartment bell, it would ring through on my phone. And one day I was sitting at the iMac, and all of a sudden it rang through on the iMac, and I was like, "What?" And I couldn't believe it that I could transfer calls between my phone and the iMac, and then I discovered the interoperability. Like I can move things. Like right now over on my test box, if I go to my trackpad, I can take the mouse from it and I can actually move it over onto this system. And likewise, I can take the mouse from my main system and drag it over onto the laptop and click on things over there. So for example, like my test box, when I refresh to see how many likes we have, I'm dragging it from the desktop to the laptop, and then I click the refresh button. I just did it right now. And we're at 46. Guys, 4 more. Come on. What trades pre-market? What's open right now to see to get an idea of what's going to happen tomorrow? Here's what I normally do is I will start looking at the markets as they open. Like I'll look at if I'm trying to gauge what's going to happen, I'll look, for example, I'll look at China first. China will open up first, and I'll basically move. I'll move with China to Europe, and I'll just see how it's moving. Like if we get this big red wave across the world, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be red, but it increases the chances of us having a red wave. So that's one of the ways I will do it. Now, also, you got a couple of things. So I think it's 3 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 hours before the market opens, you'll be able to start seeing on the U.S. So on the Canada, no, you won't be able to see anything. But on the U.S., you can see you can see where things start moving as the pre-market opens. And then you can also watch after the market. So when the market closes, you can watch for 3 hours. And then it will usually also put up an overnight price that it will just sort of hang there for the night. So there's a lot of information that you can see. Now, we won't have an overnight price tonight because the markets have been closed for the weekend. So we won't see anything until tomorrow morning. Futures. Now, one place you can get futures, like you can go to, here, let me pull this up. I haven't been here in a while. CNN, well, I mean, what I was thinking about. You can go over to business on CNN. And one of the things here, oh, here's the Fear and Greed Index, but you can actually, let's go to the market. All right, so here's market open, here's after hours. And let's see here. I thought they had a place in here for futures. But here's where I normally go to look at the market. So once we start getting some movement here, like tonight, we will have the Shanghai. We'll be able to look and see what it's looking like as it moves across the country. And you can see all of the different markets. It's still a little bit too early right now. Where do we have? I thought they had futures in here. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they did. At one point, they did. At one point, I'm pretty sure they did. Let's see, stock movers, world markets. I guess maybe not, but I thought they did at one point. Pre-market after. I kind of thought there used to be a futures tab. Well, here's an after hours tab. But yeah, because there's different places. Even if you just go to Google and quite literally, if you Google futures, you'll probably find something. Paul says trading view add a stock at bottom of the current list, then hit add select futures. There will be a list. Add one, then go to the chart for the futures and get the full chart. Oh, okay, there we go. At the bottom of the current list, then hit add select futures. Okay. Okay, well let's see if we can follow Paul's instructions. All right, so we're in here. So we're going to go to the list. Here's the list. And let's see, options, economy, bonds, crypto. Okay, oh, futures right here. So here we go. So this one here, yeah, here's Bitcoin futures. That's because we're right now currently looking at Bitcoin. But we could do a search on NVIDIA. Let's take a look. So yeah, okay, so here we go. Here is NVIDIA. Let's pull it up and see. So this here is NVIDIA futures. So right now, looking at this, this is sitting at 208. And if we look at NVIDIA itself, where is it? I'm pretty sure I have it at 206. So right now, futures shows NVIDIA going up a little bit. Here's the gap right here. Here's the gap. So it looks like they're up a little bit right now. So there you go. There's one way. Yeah, thank you, Paul. I forgot about that. That's like I don't look at it that much. I'm one who doesn't obsess a lot on futures. I'll look at the pre-market because I look at it. Here's kind of that thing I have. It's like when we end the stream here, I'm not gonna worry about stocks all night. I'm just not. I'm gonna go have supper. Maybe watch a little bit of TV, wind it down, watch a bit of YouTube, and then I'll worry about it in the morning. I'll worry about it in the morning because I find if you drag it with you everywhere, it can sometimes, wreck your sleep and make you worry unnecessarily. So, All right, TA, U.S. stock market trading hours, Eastern time pre-market, 4 a.m. Oh, is it 4 a.m.? Oh, there we go. It's more than 3 hours, guys. So 4 a.m. Oh, boy. Yeah, Monday to Friday, after hours, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So there we go. So 4 hours extra in the night and 5.5. 5.5 in the morning. Wow, that's a lot. At this point, it's like, why not just leave it open? Just leave the after hours open all the time. I don't know. Prairie, let's see. My daughter forgot the admin password for her laptop. Google the utility manager trick. I use this method to reset it. Okay, there we go. There we go. That might be an option for you, Ian. All right. Mac OS is a Unix-based operating system. It is built on the Darwin core, which combines the Mac microkernel and components from BSD, Berkeley Software Distribution, a descendant of original Unix. Oh, you see, I did not know that. I know a lot of, see, that's the thing. I was trained in Windows. I know all about Windows, but I did not know that. That makes sense though. Paul says, watching using NVIDIA Shield Pro box in the TV. NVIDIA Shield Pro came out in 2019, still gets a few software updates a year. If a 2016 NVIDIA Shield were to come out, I would buy one right away. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, well, I mean, part of the reason that we're using the Apple Plus for the TV is that I got an app. I've got a VLC app on the Apple TV and then also on my computer. So I can open up my computer, well, usually the laptop, and I can just drag things to that app and it'll put it on the TV for me. So it's just so handy. It's so easy to do that because sometimes, sometimes there's things that for whatever reason I can't, there might be something on a service I can't get, so I might have to, use a torrent. I might have to. I try not to. It's very rare that I do anymore, but sometimes, you occasionally find it. It's on a network that you can't even get in Canada, and it's like, okay, well, I'll have to torrent it then, or sometimes if I want to drag a video that I've shot over to the thing, I can do it that way as well. Ian says, I will Google that. Paul, the Sony TV I have is from 2018 and is Android TV and too slow to use now, just a dumb monitor. Yikes. Holy banana bread. Well, guys, this has been fun. We have finally got there again. We didn't get to the 50, I don't think. I'll double check. I haven't looked. 48. Seriously? Come on, guys. We are so close. Two of you hit that like button. While you're doing, I'm going to have some coffee. We'll go back one last time here. We'll see if you did it. I have faith in you guys. I think you did. I'm expecting a 50 here. Let me just take a quick gander. Oh, 49. 49. Hey, Kyle, how are you? Have a great day, everyone, says Kyle. That's actually a really good thing to end the stream on. We didn't get the 50, but we have to give, before we go, I have to, you know what? We got to bookend it. So we had a massive channel member donation today, 20 gifted subs from the wonderful Samantha. So that was absolutely awesome. So let's give her the goat again. There we go. All right. Yeah, that was I'm glad. Ian says you hit 50. It took mine off to mess with you. Oh, Ian. That's funny though. That's actually funny. But I did say we were going to end on Kyle. So I'm bringing Kyle back up. Guys, another fantastic show. You guys rock. We'll be back here again tomorrow for the market close. I can't wait. Until then, I have 2 words I want to leave you with, and that is, I think you know what I'm going to say. Bye-bye.